AMD versus Intel, which CPU is best for you? Be taught the distinction between AMD Ryzen and Intel. It stands to cause that selecting or constructing one of the best PC to satisfy your computing wants means selecting the correct processor that may deal with your most necessary computing duties, whether or not it is gaming, video editing, or on a regular basis productiveness. On this comparability information, we'll be taking a deeper look at two of the preferred processor manufacturers in the present day, Intel and AMD Ryzen. AMD Ryzen versus Intel, General Findings. AMD Ryzen presents nice built-in graphics. Higher worth for on a regular basis productiveness and informal leisure. Typically prices much less. May have a separate graphics card or video card. Typically prices extra, however is extra highly effective and has sooner speeds. Can deal with extra labor-intensive duties, like demanding video games or video enhancing. When evaluating AMD Ryzen and Intel processors, it is necessary to bear in mind it is not likely a query of which one is one of the best. They're each nice processors in their very own proper, and usually talking, PCs that use both one are likely to carry out effectively. However, when you've got particular computing wants and thoughts, or in the event you plan on utilizing your PC largely for one particular activity, then there are actual variations in efficiency between AMD Ryzen processors and Intel processors. Intel tends to shine in additional labor-intensive duties reminiscent of video enhancing and gaming. However, AMD Ryzen processors are usually a greater worth in relation to graphics and for individuals who plan to largely use their PCs for productiveness duties and never a lot else. Greatest for gaming, Intel processors. AMD Ryzen a bit slower than Intel throughout gameplay. Its finest gaming processor affords 12 cores and 24 threads. May also deal with different non-gaming duties, and is quicker at video enhancing than Intel. Extremely quick. Speeds might be boosted as much as 5.0 GHz in its finest processor. The Intel Core i9-9900K affords 8 cores and 16 threads. Can multitask with different non-gaming duties like video enhancing. Once we put collectively our record of one of the best gaming processors, it was clear that we needed to give Intel's Core i9-9900K processor the highest spot as greatest general. And that was as a result of, along with being the quickest mainstream CPU out there in the present day, it options an 8-core, 16-thread setup that is conducive to multitasking in the event you plan on enjoying video games and doing different duties like video enhancing or streaming. To not point out, Intel's finest gaming processor additionally has a base clock pace of 3.6 GHz and 5.0 GHz turbo unlocked speeds. Whereas Intel is one of the best for gaming, AMD Ryzen DIN are available in at an in-depth second, with its finest providing, the AMD Ryzen 9-3900X. This processor affords extra cores and threads than the Intel Core i9-9900K, 12 and 24 respectively, but it surely is nonetheless barely slower than Intel throughout gameplay. That mentioned, just like the Intel processor, it could possibly deal with different non-gaming duties like video enhancing. AMD Ryzen is definitely 25% sooner in video enhancing than Intel and 8% slower in gaming. Greatest for built-in graphics, AMD Ryzen processors. AMD Ryzen comparable graphics to Intel gaming processors. Can nonetheless deal with most video games. Has its personal built-in graphics. Does not require separate video card or GPU. Its finest processor has 11 graphics processing cores. Costlier upfront with high-end Intel processors and separate GPUs. Sooner speeds throughout gameplay. Can deal with extra demanding video games than AMD Ryzen with a GPU. Typically talking, in relation to gaming, Intel remains to be the clear winner. However, in the event you're simply wanting on the graphics side of PC gaming, AMD has the victory right here as a result of its built-in graphics. Excessive and Intel gaming processors, as nice as they are, will nonetheless have you ever spending more money on a separate video card, GPU, or discrete graphics card in an effort to help extra demanding video games. And whereas these high-end Intel processors normally carry out higher than AMD when mixed with a GPU or video card, as TechRadar notes, AMD's more modern processors with built-in graphics are closing that hole. And an amazing instance is the AMD Ryzen 5 3400G. This processor is alleged to have the ability to deal with the preferred video games with no separate video card. This is not shocking, contemplating it has 11 graphics processing cores. Greatest for video modifying, Intel. AMD Ryzen. AMD Ryzen's finest video enhancing processor has 16 cores and 32 threads. Solely has 4.4 GHz max pace. Appears primarily solely finest for video enhancing. Intel's finest processor for video enhancing has 8 cores and 16 threads. Max pace is 4.5 GHz. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe. Don't forget to share.